रंग मन में दिखाए, साचा रूप साचा रंग।
भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
Hari Om, ma'am. I have a general question. Can I ask?
After we finish chanting, Ganesh.
Oh, okay.
Together we will chant Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, verses 1 to 10.
ॐ अथ पञ्चदशोऽध्यायः। श्रीभगवानुवाच ऊर्ध्वमूलमधः शाखम् अश्वत्थं प्राहुरव्ययम् छन्दांसि यस्य पर्णानि यस्तं वेद स वेदवित्। अधश्चोर्ध्वं प्रसृतास्तस्य शाखाः गुणप्रवृद्धा विषयप्रवालाः। अधश्च मूलान्यनुसन्ततानि कर्मानुबन्धीनि मनुष्यलोके। न रूपमस्येह तथोपलभ्यते नान्तो न चादिर्न च सम्प्रतिष्ठा। अश्वत्थमेनं सुविरूढमूलम् असङ्गशस्त्रेण दृढेन चित्वा। ततः पदं तत्परिमार्गितव्यम् यस्मिन् गता न निवर्तन्ति भूयः। तमेव चाद्यं पुरुषं प्रपद्ये यतः प्रवृत्तिः प्रसृता पुराणी। निर्माणमोहाजितसङ्गदोषाः अध्यात्मनित्या विनिवृत्तकामाः। द्वन्द्वैर्विमुक्ताः सुखदुःखसंज्ञैः गच्छन्त्यमूढाः पदमव्ययम् तत्। न तद्भासयते सूर्यः न शशाङ्को न पावकः यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम। ममैवांशो जीवलोके जीवभूतः सनातनः मनः षष्ठानीन्द्रियाणि प्रकृतिस्थानि कर्षति शरीरं यदवाप्नोति यच्चाप्युत्क्रामतीश्वरः गृहीत्वैतानि संयाति वायुर्गन्धानि वाशयात् श्रोत्रं चक्षुस्पर्शनं च रसनं घ्राणमेव च अधिष्ठाय मनश्चायं विषयानुपसेवते उत्क्रामन्तं स्थितं वापि भुञ्जानं वा गुणान्वितं विमूढानानुपश्यन्ति पश्यन्ति ज्ञानचक्षुषः
Yes, Milan, do you have a question?
Hariom Janki ji. Janki, question is, see, in last class we discussed combination of Vivek and Vairagya is practice. Also we discussed combination of Vivek and Vairagya is effect. It's confusing. If this is the effect, then what is the cause?
It is both the effect and the cause. There is a pun on these words when we say that. We say that Viveka and Vairagya are the wheels to progress. You have Viveka, then you have Vairagya, you have Viveka and you have Vairagya. So those are the wheels to progress. But there's a pun on this because the words Viveka and Vairagya are used with two different meanings. When we're using it as a means, Viveka means knowledge and Vairagya means abstinence. That means you understand something is the right thing. Knowledge will tell you this is right, this is good, this is better, this is worse, this is higher, this is lower. That's what knowledge will tell you. So Vairagya is the capacity to then leave the lower. So once you figured this is higher, then you must say, okay, then I won't do the lower. Right? So here in this context, Viveka is knowledge, Vairagya is abstinence. That you're leaving whatever it is according to you is the lower. Right? Now, when you do these two things, you take in knowledge and you practice the discipline that it requires, then you reach Viveka and Vairagya. Now Viveka and Vairagya mean discrimination and renunciation. Discrimination means now it is not your information or knowledge that is telling you that this is higher or lower. This is your own perception. This is your jnana chaksha. This is how you're seeing it. And therefore, you have zero interest in the lower. You're not trying to make any effort to leave it. It's just you've grown to higher values, so you have nothing to do with it. You're still frowning so much, I don't know whether it is clear or not. Clear?
Yeah, I'll ponder.
Okay, ponder. Okay, I hope these two different meanings, they're not different meanings, but the senses in which it is used is clear. Deepraj, is it clear to you? Because sometimes we just fall in love with the word so much that the spirit totally escapes us. Then we say, oh, but you said this. Yes, I did say this, Baba, but what did it mean when I said it? So we have to, intellectually speaking, there are two capacities that your intellect has. One is to do an analysis, which means you can break up things and you say, okay, the word means this. This is the definition of this word. This is how this word and that word in Sanskrit is known as Shabdartha. Shabdartha means the meanings of the words. So your analysis is breaking it down, narrowing it down your vision, seeing parts. You're doing like if it's a sentence, then you're parsing the sentence. right? In the sentence, you say this is the noun, this is the adjective, this is the verb, blah, blah. You're parsing it. So this is one ability your intellect has of analysis. You're breaking it down into its smaller parts. You're sort of figuring out what these words mean. Some people are good at this. But the other aspect is synthesis, like seeing it as a whole. Okay, suppose you can only see the bits of the car, you still don't know it's a car. You know, this is an engine, this is what an engine does, this is a steering wheel, this is what a steering wheel does. But you're not seeing that it's a car. You know, so these are two separate abilities, and most people are good at one or the other. When you study Vedanta, hopefully you get whichever one you're less in, you equalize with the other one, and you grow together with these two abilities. So when you go too much into what the word says, that means you're analytical based. Analytical based means you will break everything down. And sometimes there are people who not bothered about definitions, but they get the spirit of it. So sometimes when you get the spirit, you get the wrong spirit. Sometimes when you do the analysis, you go down the chain of analysis paralysis. But if you use both these abilities together, then you really begin to understand not only Vedanta, but every.
Video is stuck.
Okay, I hope that's comprehensible.
There was a slight lag at the internet. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So what was the lag at?
About when you merge both of these.
Yeah. Then you understand not only Vedanta, you understand everything about life. That is why we have created that tagline where everything makes sense. It makes sense because you are developing that ability, and that development of that ability is what is really Vedanta.
So vairagya is detachment, right?
Yes, vairagya is detachment, that's right. But here we are, here people, when they're telling us that there's a slight pun on those words. Milind may be good at synthesis. Mahesh is good at analysis. You people sit together and figure out this thing so that y'all can help each other and increase your levels in the other one. So yes, Mahesh, yes. Vairagya is renunciation. But when you're using Vivek and Vairagya...
Renunciation or detachment?
What?
Renunciation or detachment?
They're the same
Vairagya
thing.
is renunciation or detachment?
It's the same thing. We are not differentiating between the two in this context. Don't take it out of some other context. Vairagya. If you break down the word, it's vina rag. Vina likes. Now, vina likes can be taken from the sense of, I'm not going to tell you. Who's going to say this? Vina raga can be taken in the sense of, give us the two senses in which this can be taken.
Abstinence and renunciation.
Okay, you're right in terms of context, but just the word vina raga can be taken in two senses, and those would be, now answer this question.
Raga means attachment, right?
Okay, so then?
So Vina Raga is non-attachment.
Okay, so now it can be taken, you only translated it, it can be taken in two senses. What are the two senses? Nobody?
Self-control.
Okay, say both, no? Say both of them, whatever it is.
Non-attachment of desires.
That's one. Say both, so I know that you got the concept.
Okay, so leaving the lower and going towards the higher.
Okay, so give the two meanings of Vinaraga. So Vinaraga in English, you translate it as without likes and dislikes, understood. So Vinaraga, or without likes and dislikes, has two meanings. Mahesh, do you know these two meanings?
No, I only knew the detachment part of it. I wasn't sure about the renunciation.
Detachment itself, I don't know where you are. Listen.
No, I missed. Sorry.
Detachment in Sanskrit is called Vairagya. So I don't know what you mean by I know only detachment. Vairagya means Vina Raga. Vina Raga, without likes and dislikes, means two things. Can refer to one of two things. Which are the two things it refers to?
Is it
Reflection,
yogi and
reflection,
sannyasi?
contemplation.
Sorry.
Hariom,
Yogi
ma'am,
and
is-
sannyasi is a level. It is not Vairagya. Those are just
Is it,
levels.
is it abstinence and growth?
Yes, it could be, but I don't know what exactly you mean by that. So, in some sense, you are right, but I don't know what sense you're saying. So, can you explain it a little bit more?
Abstinence in the sense of putting in the effort.
Mhm.
And growth is the effect of this abstinence.
Very good. You're getting closer. Then, what is that effort you put in?
Self-control and discipline.
Or that you're saying as effort. Okay. Can you
Yeah.
put effort? Yes, you're right. How do you do this?
Janki ji, reflection and contemplation.
No, that is how you'll get here. But Mamita, objective and free of likes. Mamita, the question is free of likes means what?
Right action,
Right. So what do you require for that?
Knowledge,
developing
knowledge.
Okay.
Intellect.
Setting in
Yeah.
commitment. By setting a commitment.
Yeah, that is, yes, that's a different point. Even if you're going to use it as commitment, then you have to tell us what that means. So,
Abstinence and intellect.
sorry?
Abstinence and intellect. Intellect is the same.
Okay, you're getting there slowly, slowly. Anyone else wants to take a try?
thoughts, action to reach your goal,
Right.
Thinking
That's
about lower and higher thoughts. So the thinking part would come into this, where you use your sense of thought.
Okay. So let's just put whatever you all have said. Y'all are not incorrect, but you can put this whole thing, whatever y'all said, in saying that level one. Okay. Level one is this. Your intellect, your actions are based on your intellect, not on likes and dislikes. Free of likes and dislikes, vairagya can mean this. Okay, this is where you're putting an effort, that you have a like or a dislike, and you say, no, I'm going to do the right thing. Right? This is level one. In very traditional settings, it's called abstinence. That means you're saying, I'm not going to do what my likes and dislikes say. I'm going to do what, according to me, is the right thing to do. It may happen that you like it also. That's independent. But what has motivated you is not your likes and dislikes, but your intellect. You have decided this is the right thing to do, and therefore you're doing it. This is the first understanding of vairagya, detachment, abstinence, whatever you want to call it. This is your level where you're putting in effort. You have the like and dislike, okay? I like to eat a cake, but I know I have to lose weight, so I'm not going to eat it. Right? So this is your first understanding of the term vairagya. Are you clear about this, Mahesh? This one, up to this stage.
Yeah, I would say it's more self-control than abstinence. I don't know.
You can call it whatever you want. Level one
Okay.
is that you are not functioning on your likes and dislikes, you're functioning on your intellect. You call it self-control, you call it whatever. Get the concepts. It's important to get the concepts. This is level one of detachment. Level two. Now, can anyone tell me what is level two of detachment? Same word. It has a
We
different
don't
meaning.
have likes and dislikes.
Very good. You have outgrown that level. Right? So one stage is the stage of effort, viveka and vairagya. One stage of effort. The second stage is the stage of growth. So what is the effort you put in? Your intellect will determine your action, not your likes and dislikes. What is the growth you will experience? That now you don't have likes and dislikes there because you've grown up. Right? So there are two different meanings of the term detachment itself. One is what you're doing as effort, which means you're putting in your intellect to determine what to do, what not to do. Second one is you've grown to that level. This is your natural life now. Is this clear? Mahesh, are you okay?
And that stage is renunciation, right? The growth stage.
Yeah.
It's a stage where it's
Words
detachment
will
to the
change.
process.
No. The words will change based on the text you're reading, the author, the speaker, hundreds of things will be involved. Somebody has a preference for this word, somebody has a preference for that word. What we have to get is, what do all these words put together, what do they mean? Normally in our class, we use the word renunciation to refer to the state of growth. However, in some other context, we may not. We're not in love with any of these words. We have to get the concept. We like to make it fix those meanings so that it becomes clear and it's not confusing. And we like to shift those meanings so that
we don't fall in love with the words.
That you don't fall in love with the words and you can recognize these words everywhere. Otherwise, you'll go, no, that person said that self-control is the process. You are saying detachment is the process. That person is saying detachment is growth. Hey, don't do all this. Please understand the concept. That person said, don't study. Just understand what's the entire process. How is this thing working? Anybody can call it any name, call it X, Y, Z. How does it matter? Right? So the concept has to be clear. There is somewhere where I'm putting in effort, which is, what is the effort I'm putting in? That my likes and dislikes are not determining my action, my intellect. Then there is a level of growth where now this is my normal life. I'm not attracted to the lower anymore. It's not like I'm putting an effort to keep away from something, such as I think all of us are not putting an effort to keep away from Mills and Boon's novels. Right? You're not putting an effort to stay away from it. You have forgotten they exist. I mean, Bhavna, I don't know, she's still young. She may have to, but most people have forgotten that these books exist. Right? You say, no, oh, Mills and Boon, I used to like it a lot. I'm going to now open one and read. Open one and read and see what happens. You will say, what on earth did I find interesting in this? So many books you will open now after your Vedanta studies, and which books or films or whatever you had in the past. And you will say, why did I find this interesting? Because when you grow up, no effort is required. Okay, is this concept clear? Give me a thumbs up, all those for whom this concept is clear.
Yes, ma'am. It is clear. Yes, ma'am.
Very good. Thank you. Right. Oh, wait, now who had somebody else also had something, right?
Ma'am, I had a question.
Yeah, one sec. I'll just finish this.
Bharat?
Yeah, I saw what Bharat has put. Bharat has, you have, I'm keeping all this in mind. Now you know how much concentration taking a class takes. If your people ever wish to take a class, you better start first concentrating in listening to the class. People are asking questions, they're going in a particular order, you are following a line of thought. This is work. People think taking a class is like, oh, chill, relax. No. If your intellect is involved, you will be tired after the class. Tired means not physically tired, but now you don't want to think anymore. Aruna, I like gossip, but it's ultimately stress. I need discipline not to engage. How sweet. Aruna, if you like gossip, please go ahead and gossip. What is the discipline you like, which you could possibly use? is use your gossiping skills or gossiping interest to understand the character, the psychology, the how people are behaving. Use it in that sense. So that it will become for you an education in Vedanta itself. When you're able to see cause and effect relationships, you're able to see a person is functioning like this because of this. So if you find that, oh, I love gossiping, then please gossip. But then use it as a method of understanding Vedanta. Okay, so you see that some star has done something, I don't know, something they do. I don't know what gossip. Let's say you're reading a magazine that this star did this and that, marriage broke up and whatever it is. And then you begin to slowly see the laws of Vedanta function. And it's a great pleasure when you can just sit back and subtle pleasures you get where you can just sit back and know that you're in God's world and everything is going just the way it should be. It's just like cause and effect is working beautifully. So a discipline is, yeah. Right now, Ganesh, yes. Oh, Bharat, did you have something on this point or something else?
Yeah, actually on this point.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so we said that second level of Vairagya is where the likes and dislikes have dropped off for the lower, right? But likes and dislikes at that level continue.
Yes.
So in effect, the practice continues throughout. Right?
Correct. That's what you go on doing. Those are the two wheels of progress. Viveka and Vairagya. You gain little Viveka, you will gain little Vairagya. You gain little Viveka, you gain little Vairagya. Otherwise, you're constantly involved in the world.
Yeah, a question regarding what you said earlier. Can I take it up now or again?
With reference to this point?
No.
Okay, then let's do Ganesh's general question first. Yes, Ganesh.
Now, my question is chapter 9 of Bhagavad Gita, verse 22, where the Lord says that if you think of me, I will give you everything. Okay, now this seems slightly confusing because the Lord should have said, right, I will take away all your desires instead of saying I will give all your desires. Because if he says that we are giving your desires, then most of us would be greedy, go to temples, pray, and want everything, right? And clearly, God has told that you can go to the Indiras and other devtas for getting worldly this thing. So why has the Lord said that? That I'll give you everything.
Quoting a verse, read that verse. Read it in English.
Yes. There are those who always think of me and engage in exclusive devotion to me. To them whose minds are always absorbed in me, I will provide what they lack and preserve what they possess.
So, as you all probably know, this is the central verse of the Bhagavad Gita. Now, Ganesh's problem is, why is he saying, I will give you this? But Ganesh, what you're not noticing, can anybody tell Ganesh what he didn't notice?
That you have to think of the self and everything will be given so that you reach the self. I understand that. That part I
Not so
understand.
that you reach the self. No, wait. Go step by step. Now, why are you jumping?
Sorry.
So first, what is the first line telling?
There are those who always think of me and engage in exclusive devotion to me.
So what is it telling us? The first line tells us
that
word?
every action
in one word,
sannyas, right? That I take all action for self.
First line tells us cause, second line tells us effect. What is the cause? That you have got single pointed attention on the higher. What is the effect? That you will get everything. What is this everything that you will get? Yoga and Shema. Now, this word yoga and Shema has been very easily translated in the way that you have just given. But scholars have had endless debates. So, what is this yoga and Shema that he's going to give us? What do these words mean? Because they're flexible words. So, let us take the meaning which you have given, which is that whatever I lack, he will provide, and whatever I have, he will protect. That's the meaning you took, right? There are multiple meanings in this. So there are subtler meanings also, but let's take the one that you have taken. I will give you what you lack and I will protect what you already have. Now, please note that this is a poem. It is called Gita, a song. A song is based on poetry. Poetry has its own rules. So when you go through the rules, you realize that what is he saying? He's giving you the cause in the first line. If you keep your mind on the higher, all else will be added on to you. Whatever else is required, you will get. Right? This much is clear. Get means preserve, get, whatever your needs are. Now, what does that mean? Eventually, it means, okay, when you work it out slowly, you will understand it means you will get self-realization. Most people take it as you will get worldly success. No, because if you take it as I got worldly success, if you take it as that only, then worldly success will always have
Limitation.
Limitation and loss. Is it possible that you can at any time be guaranteed a stable world? Can God guarantee you a stable world? He's told you word means change.
Change.
Yes. So there's no way you can have stability here. But he's promising you that. So the only way that promise can be true is if you take those words to mean self-realization.
Self-realization.
Which
Yes,
means
understood.
self-realization comes out of
Single point.
No. So, okay, the state of self-realization is the state of desirelessness. Right? So the only way you can find stability by reaching the desirelessness. You cannot obtain stability by fulfilling desires. That doesn't mean you shouldn't fulfill desires. He's not saying don't fulfill, but you're not going to find stability in that. But if he has to promise you stability, these words have to mean self-realization. If these words somehow have to then mean self-realization, then the other word can only mean consistency in the path. That's the only way this will fix, right? That is how scholars come to the meaning that these words mean consistency and realization. Yoga and Shema. Yoga means the process of joining. Shema means the ultimate goal. Now
So it means desirelessness, right?
Eventually, yes, it will boil down to that. Now the problem here is he says, I will give it to you. This is where the problem is. Now, why does he say, I will give it to you? He's told us cause and effect is you will get realization. Where does he come into this picture? If you do this, you don't believe in him also, but if you put the cause into position, will you not get the effect? You don't have to believe in him for that effect to come. Correct? So where did he come into this picture? He comes into the picture for two reasons. Because, yes, very good, Aruna, that you can see these connections. Mahesh, you also see these connections. So now, when you focus your attention on doing your sadhana, two problems will erupt in your life. You will take the responsibility of that sadhana on your shoulders. In other words, without your knowledge, you will start becoming egoistical. Number two is you will want the results of your sadhana, which means you will become result-oriented. So to help you avoid these two obstacles, he says, I will do it. You leave it alone. That doesn't mean you actually leave it alone and you leave it to him. He's only dealing with two possible mental issues that come. I will do it. I will achieve. Forget it. God does and God achieves. It's a mental attitude that you're cultivating so that you don't need internal obstacles in the journey. What are the internal obstacles in the journey? The egoistical feeling of doing and the longing for the result. So if you leave it to God, these two things will automatically come down. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
It is clear.
All right. Is it clear to everybody in the class? Now you please.
Yes. Yes.
Very good.
Yes, Janki.
Thank you. What about trust? What about trust, Aruna? I don't know. You have what about trust? Then I have to ask you, what about it? Trust is what? Trust is you trust the law of causation. If you put an cause into action, effect has to come. I don't know what you mean by trust, but the law of causation. If you do what needs to be done, you will have to get whatever is the result of that. And you trust that. I don't know whether you even call it trust. You know that for certain. It's not even a trust. You know, this world works on causation. If I do everything that it requires, the result will come. Okay. Are you okay, Aruna? And who was Bharat?
Yeah, so we spoke earlier about analysis and getting the spirit of a thing. So if one has got the spirit, what is the need for analysis then?
Because when in this process of synthesis, people make mistakes. They think they've got it, but they haven't. So it's a good idea to do the analysis to ensure that you've got it. Like for instance, people give the most obvious instances. Here are people reading spiritual books and coming to the conclusion that, go kill everybody. So then you reach that conclusion. And all sorts of other idiots will then read it the way you're reading it and then start arguing with that interpretation. So many things I'm seeing nowadays where people are arguing with this interpretation. Arguing with means they're saying, oh, they say like this, so you should now go and do that. And Krishna said you should go kill everybody. Arey Baba, chill, all of you chill. Well, starting on the wrong note, arguing the wrong things, coming to the wrong conclusions. Please learn analysis. Please learn to read the text. What is this text saying? In what context is it saying what it's saying? What are the meanings of the various words that are being used? Do some deep diving into it instead of just coming to a conclusion. But then people fall into the other thing, like all academic philosophers. They fall into the other thing. They are busy analyzing the words and analyzing this. They forgot what the spirit is. So we have both. We have Shabdartha and Bhavartha. So we must know Shabdartha, we must know Bhavartha. And we do that also. Remember how we did Bhaja Govindam? We did the Shabdartha, we did the Bhavartha. And then we did the secret meaning. The secret meaning means the more deeply philosophical meaning. So, so you have as a human, you have an intellect, and your intellect has many tools in its repertoire. But we all of us tend to be heavy in one of them. Somebody's more heavy in analysis, somebody more in a synthesis, somebody's more into, oh, this is my intuition. Each one is sort of heavy in one. But when you have 12 tools, why are you using one? Imagine as a carpenter, you have a bag of tools, but you use only one. No matter what it is, you use one only. That's what Abraham Maslow says. Remember Abraham Maslow? Nobody?
The one holding a hammer, everything
Yes,
is
ma'am.
clay.
Very good. He who has a hammer sees everything as a nail. Oh, if you have a hammer, you go beating. Baba, but this doesn't need beating. This needs something else. This needs pliers. No, I have a hammer. I will go hammer. And then we say, oh, it doesn't work. Of course it doesn't work. You're using the wrong tool.
Janki ji, it is like same recipe for all food.
Same? So same recipe
Mas-
for all. Yes.
Same
very good.
recipe, same masala.
Yes, correct. So now every time we do think, we should try to use all the tools and see how it is working with all the tools. Do you all know all the tools available to your intellect? No? Mahesh, do you know all the tools available to your intellect?
I know discrimination. And of course, controlling the mind, the two aspects that it is responsible for.
You know the 12.
Gross intellects.
Yes, those are the two types of tools, correct. I'm saying all
Gross
the tools. Nobody, it's so tragic in this class, I tell you. Omkar, you had something? Do you know all the tools? Okay, Baba, do you people know where all the tools can be read about or something? Where you...
How do you know what you know
I
last
thought
chapter?
Yes, Omkar, what?
the tool would be comparison.
The pramanas you're saying?
Yeah, the pramanas.
Okay, Deep Raj, I don't know if anyone heard you. You can tell everybody. Where are the tools available to you?
In the book, How Do You Know What You Know? Final chapter, you can read about the tools.
Final, no, penultimate. Final
Yeah,
chapter.
penultimate, yeah.
Final chapter is thoughtlessness. You have got 12
Yeah.
tools. Please read them up at least. At least know that you possess these things. इतना खजाना पड़ा है, पता ही नहीं है. Oh, sorry, Joyce. So much treasure, and nobody even knows that it is there. Whole treasure the Lord has given to you, but we don't know it is there. I mean, those tools may not be a comprehensive list. Maybe we have more that have not been identified. Who knows? Maybe as you all do more research into Vedanta, you all will come up with more tools. Who knows? And I hope we do this research. So where were we? Bharat, are you okay?
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Anybody else has a question? All right, so let's see. What were we going to be talking about today? We were going to talk about having cut asunder this firmly rooted Ashwatha with the strong axe of non-attachment. So we just discussed what the strong axe of non-attachment was. It is the combination of Viveka and Vairagya. Viveka is the ability to discriminate between the higher and the lower. Vairagya is the capacity to leave the lower. It's like Viveka tells you that you need to exercise in the morning. The capacity to leave means you get out of bed and go out. You should be able to leave something to do something. So you should be able to see the difference between the higher and the lower. When somebody says something rude to you, you should be able to see that by getting agitated, I'm not going to deal with this situation properly. I should be able to see that. And having seen that, I need to be able to leave the agitation. So sometimes you're agitated now. Can you tell somebody leave the agitation? So if you cannot leave the agitation, then you leave the
situation.
Yes, leave the room at least if you can't leave the agitation. Minimum that much you do. Say, I will get back to you on this. Leave. Don't get agitated and stand there and do stupid things. If you're able to distinguish between a good relationship and a bad relationship, you will have to leave the impulses of your tongue. What is the difference between a good relationship and a bad relationship? 90% of it is what you speak. You handle that much, 90% your relationship will be good. Just be careful what you say. Do not open your mouth unless you're saying something which is helping the situation. Yes, sometimes you may have to be strict, that's fine. But at least you are helping the situation, whatever it is. You think that this situation requires somebody to be fired, please fire them. But whatever you say is helping the situation, not obstructing it. So in every aspect of life, this is not a theoretical thing that, oh, we read something very nice about Viveka and Vairagya. In every aspect, you're clearly able to see what is the higher, what is the lower. You leave the lower and deal with the higher. And as you keep doing that, growth takes place. So he says, having cut asunder this firmly ashwatha with the strong axe of non-attachment. Now you will see, it seems a bit odd, right? If you read the line, doesn't it seem a bit odd? It seems grammatically incorrect. Like, having cut asunder this firmly rooted ashwatha with the strong axe of non-attachment. I mean, there's not a sentence. So what is it trying to tell us? That it's not ended here. Then what happened? What is the incomplete bit about it? The incomplete bit is the incomplete bit which we are leaving incomplete. And what is the part we are leaving incomplete?
Our commitment.
Our commitment, very good. Our commitment to the goal. That is not there. 90%, 99% of people who come to Vedanta come because of their interest in the subject. The subject is interesting for those who find it interesting. It's very interesting. I mean, like, oh yeah, really, how nice. I never knew this. Right? So we're here out of interest. If you're here out of interest, unfortunately, you're not a Vedanta student because you're here out of interest. It's a hobby course. A Vedanta student is a person, by definition, who has done what?
Introspection.
Live the knowledge.
Student, no? He's still trying. He may not be good at living the knowledge. But what is it that a student must have to begin with?
Mumukshatva.
Mumukshatva.
Paripatena pariprashnena sevaya.
First thing to become
Discipline.
a student. Huh?
Discipline.
First step. Very first.
Mumukshatva, right, ma'am? Mumukshatva.
First step.
Accepting your ignorance.
Commitment.
Shravana.
Commitment. Very good. Namrata, was that you?
No, Shilpa. Commitment, I said.
Huh? But you said, oh, Namrata, Shilpa, your name is showing.
Yeah. Namrata. Sorry. My daughter's phone. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, are you new, Shilpa, to the class?
Yeah, first time.
Oh, I see. So fantastic.
I heard you at Karjimkhana, then I started this class.
Oh, I
Today
see.
is my first day.
Oh, okay. Wonderful. On the very first day, you have hit the ball out of the stadium. The first thing a student requires is commitment.
Commitment for what?
To your goal. If you don't have that commitment, you're here out of interest. So that means the moment the going gets tough, then you're out.
You be committed to your interest then.
Yeah, then it's not an interest, then it's your goal. So what is it you're trying to achieve by your coming to this class? What is it you're trying to achieve? What is the commitment you're making? If the commitment is not there, what are you going to do, Viveka and Vairagya? You're going to have this notion, oh, now I know there are two meanings of Viveka and Vairagya. This is what's going to happen. Oh, I know. What is the definition of Vairagya? There are two types of definitions. One is what the effort you put in. Two is the goal that you reach, the growth that you reach. What are you doing? What are you going to do with these definitions? How can anyone give you commitment? People can give you knowledge, information. Nobody can give you commitment. Now, if you don't have that, you don't have that. You're not a Vedanta student. Even if you have been attending every class from the beginning of time. Deepraj, the goal has to be self-realization. No, not necessarily. Your goal has to be anything higher. But something you're committed to, right? Whatever you're committed to.
No, but say somebody studies Vedanta so that he can become, I mean, there are these interviews that you have to give and they ask questions about Vedanta. So he comes, studies Vedanta, he gives the interview, but he wants to serve his nation. But we won't call him a Vedanta student.
Yeah, because he didn't really study Vedanta at all. I mean, he was doing a general knowledge quiz, right?
But he has a higher goal, but we won't consider him, right? So the goal, like to study Vedanta for self-realization, that qualifies a Vedanta student.
No. If he felt that if he studies, when he comes to the study, it is like registration for a course. Why do people need to register? We do not make people register for the course. We do not make people pay up for the course. So there is no commitment. Most people in the world, commitment comes because you've paid for it and you've got a registration and you got some certificate and stuff like that. Here we don't do any of these things. We don't use these tools. Maybe we should. What do you people think? Should we use these tools and force commitment upon people? Tell me how many people would vote for that? Force commitment upon people. Because at least if you register, you pay something, then you feel that, oh, maine paise diye, I have to go. But nobody has any views on this matter.
So, Janki ji, you come to a class, I mean, you become a student in the first place. So what attracts you would be that you want to know more about yourself. Like Deepraj says,
Are you answering the question? Should we have registration? Don't go on another topic.
No,
Step by step. Don't rush here and there. We'll finish with Deepraj and come to your question, if any.
Yeah.
Now the question on the table is, should we register? Little force, yes. All of y'all are saying yes. Oh, AB. We also have an AB baby, huh? Yes. So AB baby says no. No. Why are you people saying no? Do you think that we won't get commitment out of that?
It will work for a while.
Okay, so at least we'll say our course is what? 6 months? So 6 months we bought their commitment. These are highly debatable topics, and this is not our debate at the moment because everybody tells me, oh, you must do a proper course and you must do this and you must do that. Yes, it's oh my God, Jayashree is even better. She says you must register, have them pay, both she's agreed with, and then have an exam, and then meet in person for graduation ceremony at our campus. Okay, very good. All these extra things will no doubt make people pay more attention. And if they pay more attention, no, you can't force commitment, that is true, but you can force people to pay more attention. And if you force people to pay more attention, what are you forcing them to do?
Developing intellect.
No, developing attachment. And then that attachment may one day turn to commitment, may or may not. Beyond a point, there's nothing we can do from external sources, as you're saying, but we can play this game a little bit. So Deepraj, coming back to your question, the commitment should be to something, because even if you take a commitment to service of the nation by I want to do my IAS to serve the nation. To give my IAS exam, I have to have general knowledge on Vedanta, let us say, in the same of it. And therefore, I study Vedanta. And this person actually studies, not memorizes, but studies. Then he will be a Vedanta student for that particular period of time, I suppose. So many factors are involved. No, it's so difficult to answer questions like this because depends. I can keep moving these factors, and this answer will keep changing.
So, what is the core that makes it? Just the higher goal?
Yeah, it has to have a higher goal, and your commitment is something in you has said, I'm not letting go of this until I get it. And that what is that it is what each one has to know for themselves.
And to reach that higher goal, this person is investigating the facts of life, then he becomes a Vedanta student.
No, just because he's made the commitment. Then he will take up whatever is required. Suppose it is required for him to now take up a method of earning money, but he's doing that. But it's only for this. Or it's required for him to give up trying to earn money and work only for this. Then he's doing that. But all his decisions are being taken with that in mind. So, yeah, I'm starting a family. Why? Only for this. I am not starting a family. Why? Only for this. What is the... My commitment is known by how many decisions am I taking based on. Otherwise, I'm interested in 20 things, 20 different things I'm doing. There's no real commitment. The commitment is somehow like if you see Swamiji's life, for instance, okay, so what are his interests? I'm just saying, maybe he likes writing, maybe he likes teaching, maybe he likes organizing, maybe he likes giving public lectures, he likes cricket, he likes classical music, you know, just on the whole of it. So all these things, whatever he is doing, it is only for Vedanta. If he plays cricket, it will be to make Vedanta well known, you know, to talk to a different type of audience. If he listens to classical music, then it will be classical because it's a form of bhakti. Everything is around that one. That's the fulcrum. And everything is around. So if he decides to move from Chennai to Mumbai, it is for Vedanta. If he decides to move from Mumbai to Malavali, it is for Vedanta. There is no other reason for him to do anything. Everything. If he goes to America, for what? For Vedanta. If he doesn't go to America, for what? Vedanta. Everything is for that.
Ma'am, Hariom ma'am, but this has to start from the interest of freeing yourself from worldly happenings, right? Everyone, most of us join, serious Vedanta students join Vedanta only to get out of the world. I know that that is how then we do.
I mean, that is only one thing. To get out of the world is just one way of just one way of looking at it. Somebody may want to find the truth. Somebody may want to find what is complete knowledge. Somebody may want darshan of the Lord. So they all boil down to the same thing. But they're all different.
All that is same, right?
It is the same.
All that is same.
All that is the same. But you can't say everyone comes for this reason because that's not true. Each one is inspired by their way of looking at it.
Okay.
Aruna, I'm
Right.
finding the distinctions you are making are subtle. I'm in the UK and brought up Christian, but I found the thinking quite black and white. Yes, I mean, this is one thing we have to really stop saying that Vedanta is subtle and the others are not. They are more black and white. It appears on the surface that it is so, but knowledge itself, anyone who has knowledge will definitely look at it the same way. It is the ignorant who start making all sorts of funny kind of distinctions where no distinctions exist. So whether it is Christian or Muslim or Jew or Hindu, it all depends more on your maturity, how you look at it. And usually the people who go into ritualistic religion are a bit immature, so then they start doing funny things.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Aruna.
Oh, hello. I've not got my video on because it's quite early in the UK. I haven't got my makeup on.
Right.
Yeah, that's interesting what you're saying because I find like the distinction you made earlier between the higher and lower, when you leave behind the lower things because you want to, and it's not an effort. I find that there's I don't know, people here, they don't seem to talk about anything like that. And I'm just told that I split hairs, I think too much, and all this. But I'm just loving all this sort of the Indian philosophy because it's sort of validating me with what I think.
Yeah, it's
Finding,
not about there
and
or
you said,
there. If you come here, also the same thing will be there. It
oh,
is
okay.
all about a matter of
Grass is
that when those who are students of a philosophy that teaches them the actual facts of life, they definitely see things a bit different.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's just
Yeah,
who
every
I'm
book, whether it's
hanging
the
around with
Bible or the
here.
Quran or the Dhammapada or the Gurbani, they're all saying the same thing. Nobody is saying
Okay.
different.
Yeah, I suppose the Christian mystics are saying the same thing. Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Anyone who gets it, and those who don't create the confusion.
There's nothing you can do. I mean, there's a church down the road I went to, but they're very it's just the words in the Bible, just word for word. And then they've got the idea that any problem I'm having is, oh, it's an evil spirit. And then to me that confuses me because I get scared and then I think, I feel out of control. Like, what power do I have then if there's all these evil spirits? I find it very
It's
confusing.
not incorrect, Aruna. Evil spirits only means desires out of control. Now you read
Oh,
the
okay.
text by thinking desire out of control, and it all makes sense.
Oh, okay. Right. So it's a different way of terming it in words then. But essentially there is something in what they're saying. There's some truth in it.
They're reading the words of the great masters. Only thing is because they are they don't understand the whole concept. They put their own twist to it.
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah. I'll see what you mean now. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, so that's it for today.